Hi guys, how are you? Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. We are all so full of cold, so you'll have to excuse me sniffing my way through this live. But I managed to catch up on some sleep this weekend. Sorry about the glare, I've got a crack across my camera. Hang on, I'm just getting Noah a banana. Hey Kirsty, there we go. Yeah, so we're all full of cold, but I managed to catch up on some sleep this weekend. I finally got Matt doing Erin's night feeds because I had to give up breastfeeding to start my ADHD medication. But I carried on doing the night feeds, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm on 3 years worth of sleep deprivation. You can do them. So yeah, so Matt did the night feeds last night for the first time. Oh dear! He broke his banana. Noah did, not Matt. So yeah, so I still woke up, so it wasn't like perfect, but it was better, so I don't feel quite so dead today as I normally do, apart from this cold. So I'm coming on today to talk to you about staying motivated on your nutrition and fitness journey and staying focused on the end result. This is something I was asked to cover. He's being stubborn. There is banana skin all over my kitchen floor and orange peel. Noah likes to peel his fruit and just chuck it on the floor. So I'm going to start, before I go into the motivation side, I'm going to start by saying that obviously I have been on this journey, oh baby, for a long time now. I started really turning my nutrition around back in 2012. I can't stick it back together. Should we cut it up? Should I cut it up?
No!
He's not feeling very well. Just give me a sec. Okay, he's got over it, I think. So yeah, I started my nutrition journey back in 2012. It's when I really started turning my health around. And it's been a real journey. It took me until 2015 to... I'll see you later, Kirsty. It took me until 2015 to take my nutrition certifications and start my degree. And it's been a continuous battle. So I thought I would start this live with some confessions, because I think that the point I've reached now is that it's easy for me to stay motivated. It's easy for me to get my workouts in. It's easy for me to eat clean the majority of the time. And I'm aware that as that happens for me, it can make me maybe less relatable to you. And that can make it hard when you can't relate to your coach. It can make it hard to connect to what they're saying, because they're like, oh, well, you're like, but it's easy for you. You've done it. Which is true. I have done it. But here's the thing. I love pizza, okay? I love chocolate. Like, oh, Kirsty's gone back to work now, so she can't vouch for me, but she's brought me chocolate before for like looking after her kids and stuff, and I will demolish a whole bar. I can easily, happily eat, do you know those Cadbury's, if you're in the UK, I don't know if they have them in the US or Australia or wherever you are, there's these massive chocolate bars, they're called Big Taste. I can eat a whole one of those in one go. I love barbecue chicken stuffed crust pizza. I love KFC, all the stuff that's really, really bad for you, all the things that make you cave and go off track. I love them, I do. And it's only this year, so into my sixth year of getting my nutrition in order, have I had the belief that I can do the whole of this year eating clean. I don't know if you remember, I said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to do a full year of clean eating. So this is 6 years into my nutrition journey. I'm finally confident enough to say that I can do this. And I do genuinely believe it, and I won't be going off track. So I wanted to get that out of the way, because I don't ever want you to be like, oh yes, but you're an expert. You know what you're doing, you're really motivated, it's easy for you. It hasn't always been that way, and I do remember what it's like to have cravings. I still know what it's like to be really tired and not want to do your workout, or maybe you don't want to cook a healthy meal, or the kids are driving you nuts and you just want to dive into a bar of chocolate and a glass of wine. Like, I get it, all of it, I do. So please don't feel like we're a million miles apart, because we're not. Let me just read this comment one sec. Oh wow, heart surgery, that's really scary. But it's not great. I'm not saying it's great you've had heart surgery, but sometimes we need that kick to get things in order and to start looking after ourselves better. For me, it was just having such a horrific relationship with food and myself. And I've had failing health too, which has made me realise that I need to look after myself better. So we're not a million miles apart. I do relate to you. I do understand how hard it is. But that being said, let me give you my tips on staying motivated. So, I mean, if you've had something really scary like surgery or a big health scare, then that hopefully will remain a big motivation for you. What's that, baby? If you haven't though, humans are really great at living in denial. We're back up again to find more food for Noah. It's a survival mechanism, but we tell ourselves, it's not that bad, it's fine. I'm fine, this is fine, everything's fine. The house is burning down around me, but everything's fine. But it is a survival mechanism, because if we believed that things weren't fine, we would curl up in a ball and die. No more nana. You want one more orange? Orange? Want orange? Burping at me. Claire, I love that you just came on as I said, we'll curl up in a ball and die. Where was I? Yeah, if we really believed things were as bad as they were, we would give up. So we have this really, really effective way of telling ourselves that we're fine, everything's fine, we don't need to worry. So then we have a big scare like heart surgery, or I don't know, maybe you find out you're pre-diabetic, or you are diabetic, or you've got cancer, or something that shocks you to the core. If you don't experience that, it can be really hard to make long-term permanent changes. But what we need to understand is that if we don't make long-term permanent changes, those are the types of things you might be facing in 10 years' time. Because the nutrition you put in your body, like, I don't know that people fully grasp this, but your health and your life depends on the food you put in your body. It's that serious. And I think I've said this before because I just got deja vu. But it is that serious that you put good food into your body. So that's one way of keeping yourself motivated, is remembering or reminding yourself of what you potentially face if you don't get this sorted out. And and don't fool yourself into believing that maybe just because you're slim that you're not at risk, because if you can be slim and putting loads of shit food into your body and you're just as much at risk as anybody else, just because you have a faster metabolism, or maybe you don't eat enough of it for it to make you overweight or whatever, you're still at risk. So you need to put those good foods into your body. So what I want to, let's have a look at my list. I made a list because you know what I'm like for going off on tangents, so I'm going to try not to do that, but please excuse me if I do. There will be a point to it, even if I don't know it myself. So follow a program you enjoy. A lot of people, when they go on a diet, and you know I hate that word, they go on something that makes them really miserable. They eat nothing but salad and stir fries. And people feel miserable. I did a post about this a few months ago. I was like, what words come to mind when you think of going on a diet? And people were like, misery, restriction, hungry, chocolate. And these are all the emotions that are being conjured up by that word, because the only thing people seem to do is put themselves on a diet that makes them feel miserable. But that doesn't work, because it just reminds you of all the stuff you can't have. You feel hungry because you're probably actually starving yourself. If you put yourself on the standard type of diet that everybody thinks they're supposed to go on, you're hungry all the time and it makes you miserable. And that's not the way to lose weight. That won't actually help you lose weight at all. You may even begin storing anything that you put into your body because it's like, holy shit, we're starving. So find a program you enjoy. One of the reasons I fell in love with paleo is because it was the first time I'd ever been able to eat as much as I'm not going to say as much as I wanted to, but as much as I needed to, and still lose weight. And I didn't get hungry. And the reason I say not as much as I wanted to is because obviously there are days when you do just want to stuff your face. But with paleo, it really helped to regulate my appetite in a natural way, and I naturally reduced my calories. I was looking back, when I was doing my assignment last week, I was looking back over one of my 3-day food diaries that I had to do in my first year of uni. And I was eating paleo and my meals were pretty big, but when I counted up the calories on average each day, I was eating about 1,500 calories. And because of the protein and fat content of paleo, it was enough. And that's why I was so slim, because I'd naturally reduced my calorie intake without starving myself, and I was putting the foods into my body that it was calling for. Your body needs nutrients. You actually have a nerve. This is going to be a tangent, sorry. You actually have a nerve in your from your stomach and through your intestine, I think. I can't remember the exact position of it, but it's called the vagus nerve, and it detects the nutrients in your food. So if you're eating really shit food, you're going to be hungry all the time. And that's also because they affect your metabolism and spike your blood sugar like a roller coaster. You'll have heard this before. But it's also because if your body is lacking nutrients, if you're not malnourished, not many people in the Western world are malnourished, but undernourished, let's say, or deficient in something, your body's going to call out for it, and it's going to make you eat more and more and more. But when you put the correct foods into your body, it knows it's getting everything it needs, so it doesn't need to scream out for food all the time. So that's something to bear in mind. That was a little tangent, but I think that's important for you to know. So actually carrying on from that, eating nourishing foods. This is going to help you because you're going to start feeling really good. So a bit like when I was saying about how if you choose a diet where you're starving, you're going to feel like shit and you're going to quit. When you eat foods that really nourish your body, not only is your appetite going to regulate itself, but you're going to start feeling more energized, your skin's going to clear up, you are going to find that your focus is better, you're sleeping better, you've got more energy. And these are the things you really need to focus on outside of your body goals. Because if you've got a long way to go, or if you just happen to be somebody who progresses slower than somebody else, you've got to have something positive to focus on that doesn't involve like being a size 8 or having a 6-pack or whatever. Whatever your I'm saying shallow, but it's not shallow. If you want to have a 6-pack, it's not shallow, it's what you want. I want a 6-pack, so whatever. If it's shallow, I'm shallow. But do you know what I mean? Your kind of aesthetic goals, you've got to have other stuff to focus on outside of that. Which leads me on to, you can have an end goal in mind. So let's say, right, so my personal goal is I want to lose my baby weight. But I actually want to lean out. I want to get lean. I want to get toned. I want a 6-pack. I want the like visible muscles. I'm not talking bodybuilder, but I am talking like looking really fit and athletic. So that's my aesthetic goal. But I've got a long way to go before I get there. The other thing I need to bear in mind is that even when I get there, that is not the end of the journey. So whatever your goal is, whatever your aesthetic goal or I'm going to dissuade you, I'm not sure if that's the word, encourage you not to have a weight goal, because if you're working out quite strenuously, you're going to build muscle and you may not ever reach your goal weight, even if you've achieved it before. If you're doing an exercise program, you're going to build muscle and you might get heavier. But even when you get to your quote end goal, your journey doesn't end there. Just because you've achieved it, it doesn't mean you get to go, woohoo, I'm a size 8 now, I can go and eat whatever I want and quit exercising. Because it doesn't work like that. You will then just go and put it back on, you'll have wasted your time. So just because you have an end goal in mind, it doesn't mean it's the end of your journey. So you need to have a permanent mindset. You need to understand that if you are choosing to take on this lifestyle, you choose it forever. And that's not to say you can never eat a burger again, or you can never eat chocolate again. It just means that you need to dedicate yourself to this, and this is a choice you are making. And every day you need to remind yourself that this is a choice you made. I'm choosing to follow this program. I'm choosing to keep my nutrition clean. I'm choosing not to give in when my partner offers me some chocolate. Like Matt made brownies the other day. And if you've been following me, you don't need to have been following me for very long, but I'm doing a really intense workout program. It comes with a really strict nutrition program. There are no deviations from this. You can't have a glass of wine. You can't have a square of chocolate. Like, it's really strict. And I made a decision to follow it, word for word. So Matt made brownies the other day, and he was like, oh, I really want you to try these. They're really, really nice. So would eating one brownie have damaged my results? Probably not. one brownie. I'm working out really intense, I'm eating really clean. One brownie's not going to kill me. It's not going to make me gain all the weight back that I've lost so far. But I made a promise to myself that I was going to stick to this program 100%. So I'm doing it. And the chances are, if you make that kind of promise to yourself and then you go back on it, it's going to affect your self-esteem. Because I'm guessing that you have been through a cycle of making these promises to yourself and then breaking them. And then feeling really shit about yourself. And then giving up. And this is why you're watching this video, and it's why you haven't achieved your goals yet. Because this is your cycle. This is my cycle. So remind yourself that you made a promise to yourself. And if you wouldn't break a promise to somebody else, then don't break it to yourself. You are just as important as somebody else. Your self-esteem rides on you treating you well and being kind to yourself. Like, if you think about it, let's say you and your best friend, right? Let's say you spoke to her the way you speak to yourself sometimes. She wouldn't put up with it. Like, you'd fall out, wouldn't you? Sorry, I lost my train of thought then because I read Claire's comment. She wouldn't put up with it. If you went up to her and threw all the insults that you throw at yourself to your best friend, or him, sorry, I forget there are men on the line too, she would be like, what the fuck? Don't speak to me like that. And you would have an argument and you'd fall out. You might make up again, but if you did this to her every single day, the way you do it to yourself, pretty damn sure she or he would not be your best friend anymore. Same with your partner. If you spoke to them the way you speak to yourself on a daily basis, that relationship wouldn't last. You have to... Hey, I think we're back. I'm not sure. Oh, it's trying to go live. It says it's recording though, so I don't actually know whether you can hear me or not, which is weird. I'm just going to carry on. So, you have to have a relationship with yourself. I have a feeling this might record it, upload it with my live so you can watch it back later. Let's just see what happens. You have to have a relationship with yourself and treat yourself as well as you would a partner or a best friend. Because you have to live with you forever. So don't be a bitch. Let me just check my little list I made of stuff I want to talk to you about. The other thing you can do, on days when you're feeling like, God, I don't want to do this. I'm really tired. I just want to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix all day. Every day you give in to that is a day further away from your goal. And again, look back at how many times you've done that in the past. That's why you're here now and you haven't achieved your goals. What, do you want, in a year's time, do you want to look back and go, oh yeah, I started that program and I never finished it. Oh. And like, be annoyed with yourself because you didn't do it. Or do you want to look back and go, wow, yeah, even on the days I didn't want to do it, I did it. And look at me now. And even if you're not at your goal, you know, your aesthetic goal, where are you in terms of mindset? I can promise you, like, hand on heart promise you, if you stick to a program for 3 months, 6 months, a year, the rest of your life, hopefully, your mindset is going to change completely. You're going to reach the point I'm at now where you can dedicate yourself for a year and it doesn't scare the shit out of you because you're like, oh, my favourite foods, I can't eat my favourite foods, because you'll realise that there is more to life than eating chocolate. And I love chocolate, so please don't take that lightly. There is more to life than eating these foods, which, if we're honest with ourselves, we're putting into our bodies to hide emotions we don't want to deal with. And obviously sometimes you just want some chocolate and it's nice, but in the long run, if you can't give it up for a year, then you've got some stuff to work through. So don't look back and regret what you didn't do. Look, you know, do it and look back and go, yes, I did it, this is awesome, and think about how great you feel. And I think my last one is watch your language. So I am still guilty of doing this because it's habit. When Matt made the brownies and he offered me one, I was like, no, I can't. And if I'm honest, I wanted to. I did want to eat a brownie because I fucking love brownies and they smell amazing. So I did want to eat it. So my language was I can't. Eventually, I'll be able to switch it to I don't want to. But just be aware of how often you use words like I can't, or I'm not allowed, or I don't know, whatever. These are disempowering words, and they reaffirm to you that it's outside of your control, but it's not outside of your control. It is 100% within your control. So use language like I choose not to, I don't want to. And it might be a bit of a lie to start with, but the more you say things out loud, the more you, what's the word? I've lost, I don't know what the word is. Confirm it to your subconscious. I don't want to. And what you might find is when you've been following a program for quite a while, I know that Claire, who's on here now, she follows paleo with me. She was one of my first clients. And every now and again she'll eat something that's not paleo and be reminded why she hasn't done this, because it makes you feel like shit. So when you've been eating clean for an extended period of time, you will you'll begin to really notice the way unhealthy food makes you feel. Somebody posted in my group, my free group, I don't know if it was over the weekend at some point, and she was like, I ate, and I can't remember what she ate, but it was something off plan. She's like, I feel like shit, I'm really bloated, oh, this is horrible, why is this happening? And I was like, you probably felt like this all the time before, but it was all you knew, so you didn't notice. And now you know what it feels like to feel healthy. You feel like shit because you've gone off plan. So she may not want to do that again. And it's not necessarily that you don't want to eat it because you don't like it. Like, I love brownies. I've said this. But I know if I ate it, it would come attached to feelings of letting myself down and going off plan and breaking my promise to myself. So I don't want to. I don't want to feel those feelings of regret and failure and whatever other feelings come attached to letting myself down. So as much as I wanted to eat the brownie because it tastes really nice, I also actually, more than that, don't want to experience those negative emotions. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Please message me any questions or pop them in the comments. My inbox tends to get really full. So what I would really like moving forward is if you have just general questions, please post them in my free group. I'll put the link to it in the description. Or if you're in my elite tribe, then post them in there and tag me if it's urgent. I tend to miss my messages, and the other day I accidentally marked them all as unread. So now I have a buttload of messages, and I need to scroll through them and see which ones are read and which ones I didn't, because now I'm like, shit. So I've got all these people waiting. So if you could help me out and help yourself out by posting questions into one of my groups, then I will respond in there. If you would like to jump in my inbox to book a consultation or to get on a workout program, then please do message me for that. And I'll get on a call with you because I'm trying to speed the process up. I'm aware that it can take me a while to answer messages sometimes, and sometimes it's taking me a week or two to respond to people, and I really don't want to be leaving anybody out. So if you message me about booking a consultation for a nutrition, for coaching, or if you want to get on a workout, then the chances are I'm going to try and get a call with you to arrange that and to get it done so that we can actually speak and just find out what's right for you, because over Messenger just takes such a long time, and I know that life gets busy for both of us and I don't want anybody to miss out. So thanks for watching, thanks for jumping on. I'm sorry for the Wi-Fi problems. Hopefully you'll be able to watch the replay nice and clearly. So if you're on the replay, come say hi, drop me your comments below and I'll come and respond to you. Bye guys!